Okay, here we're going to build on our last lesson just a little bit, and you probably already noticed the change. If not, take a second to read the text and take a look at the graph. So we're still taking like a flat region and spinning it around a line, right? But this time, we're spinning it around horizontally. Okay, so our little cross sections, our washer cross sections, are laying flat instead of being on their side. Okay, that is the change here. Mathematically, it's all the same, except, make sure you make a note of this, our functions must be in terms of y. Okay? I think in delta math, they're nice and they give them to you that way, but I could easily have given you, instead of x equals 2y, I could given you y equals 1/2 x and made you rewrite it, okay? And you may have to do that on the AP exam. So just make a note, your functions must be in terms of y. Our integral is the same, though. So it's the integral from a to b, and actually we'll talk about those in a second, of pi times your outer radius, big R, minus little r, y now, because we're integrating functions in terms of y. Okay, and this all makes sense, right? If I'm turning my whole life on my side, that's going to go from x as our variable of interest to y as our variable of interest. So dy is now like the height of my individual little donut instead of its width. But functionally, everything's the same here. Now, these bounds are important, and these have also changed. So what I would not put here, I would get this wrong if I put -6 and 2, right? Because my bounds are now, if I'm integrating in terms of y, my bounds also need to be y values. So I would go from -3, is that right? -3 to 1 would be my bounds. So the integral from -3 to 1, pi, and then my big R is going to be my leftmost function's distance from my axis of rotation. So I'd say 9 minus 2y. So that's y equals 9 minus my left-hand function squared minus, and then same thing, 9 minus, what was the other one? 3 minus y squared. 3 minus y squared. Parentheses around the whole thing, all again with respect to y. Okay? So other than that, the math is exactly the same as the previous lesson. So I won't solve this. I'm expecting most of you are doing this on your calculator at this point in your career, because the work of setting them up is the real intellectual work that I want you to be doing. One more time, make sure you capture these two things, that the functions must be in terms of y, and capture that these boundaries are y values instead of x values now. Other than that, again, your work is the same as your previous one.